Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes. Perfect.
Hardcore hero.
Hardcore Hero singular.
The last man standing. Okay, so what? The wall is shifting next to me. Do I have a round to act before it's
You
out?
have an initiative roll to make.
Okay.
That's how we decide who goes if you have time.
I was just wondering if it's like took it a round to get out,
No, it moves quickly.
Apparently it can see invisibility as well, which is nice.
Well, it'd be a pretty poor guard on a dragon's lair if it couldn't see invisible creatures, right?
Yeah.
You gotta expect high-level monsters to be able to bypass second-level spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, you will definitely beat it in initiative.
Okay. So how far away from me is it?
15 feet.
Okay. So I spend my half move backing out of the cave and then cast mirror image.
Lovely. All right. There all of a sudden become, what are there, 5, 6 of you?
D4 plus 3. So 7 of me.
7 of you. All right. Let's see. I probably should have done this during the break. Do I have a cave or canyon battle map? I certainly have a cave map. This is what I should have spent my break doing instead of joking with sensitive people in chat. No, we're not gonna have a cave in time. All right, we're gonna have to use theater of mind, which is actually my favorite anyway.
That's how we always did it. I was looking back. I've been watching old Hardcore Heroes, and like compared to the great battle maps we had in Fro at the end, I forgot like how much we were just winging it in Hardcore Heroes. There's very rarely a map, and if it was literally just like,
a doodle
drawn. Yeah.
All right, so the stone monster, who looks more like just an assembly of boulders that are just adjacent to each other. If you've seen Galaxy Quest, they fight a rock monster that looks a lot like that.
No, I've not. But does it look more like a golem rather than a?
It looks more like an earth elemental than anything. Okay. It just looks like a collection of boulders. There's no discernible face or head or eyes or anything like that. And it smashes towards you, raising up its first hand to bring it down on you. Ooh, with a natural 1, thank God, because it's got a high roll to hit. It just smashes the ground, crumbling and fracturing.
It misses an image. Does it go directly for? Does it go for the right me?
That's a good question. How many did you say there were?
6 extra, so there's 7 of us total.
There's 7 of you. It does not go for you. It goes for one of the mirrors. And then it takes a second swing with its other arm and scores a 27 on to hit.
Okay.
Absolutely obliterating one of your mirror images, which vanishes before it.
Yeah.
And we roll initiative for the next round. It is a large creature, so it will go at 8.
Just check what magic missile is. I think it's 1 though, isn't it? I'm not used to having to do this type of initiative. It is called magic missile, isn't it? The spell. Why can't I find it in the?
It's magic missile. First level spell.
Yeah. I was just searching like control Fing for it and wasn't finding it. But there we go. Yeah, it's 1. Great. Okay. I got 4.
All right, there you go.
I back up further away down the ridge and cast magic missile at it.
Okay. And when you cast mirror image, your images do the exact same thing. So you cast magic missile, and all the mirror images cast magic missile, and dozens of bolts fly towards this stone creature, smashing it for 17 damage. Good. All right, it means I have to start rolling its hit points.
Yeah.
I'll just do it digitally instead.
If it wants to pick up a rock and throw it at me, is there rocks about?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
All right, it takes 17 damage and is sitting pretty. It stomps towards the next illusion, making a roll with a 12, which will still hit your illusion.
My armor's 14, but yeah.
Ooh. But yeah, but it'll hit the illusion, right?
I don't know. Would it?
Let's see.
Sure. Yeah.
When an image is struck by melee or missile attack, magical or otherwise, it disappears, but any other existing images remain intact. So is your 14 AC, what's it from?
Armor, the spell.
Okay, so it will collide with the image, but like would have the armor spell would have resisted it, right? So if it was Dex, you would dodge it, but in any sort of armor, there's contact. But
hits, okay,
so it crushes another,
okay,
and then it tries to whack-a-mole another one with a 26 to hit. And you said there's 4 left, so there's 5 of you total.
Yeah.
It hits. Okay, so that 25 rolls to hit you. Actually, it finds you, and which will chip off a stone skin charge.
Yep.
All right. Initiative.
I still got all my mirror images.
Right.
I guess. Yeah.
But it has found you.
Well, I think. Do we not?
Do you move between them? Oh, the images seem to shift from round to round, so if the actual wizard is struck during one round, he cannot be picked out from among his images the next. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, the monster goes at 16.
All right, magic missile again.
Go for it?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, God. It's a lot of damage that this thing is taking, and it will make its first strike at... There's 5 of you. I should be rolling a d6 now. A mirror image with another natural 1, completely missing. And a second strike at a mirror image, which will hit and destroy it, bring it down to 3 mirror images and you.
Yeah, so there's 4 of us left. Okay. Does it look wounded?
It does. Like, each time you hit it with magic missiles, these boulders that are holding it together begin to split and fracture and, like, grow cracks in them, and chips begin to fall off, and the whole thing is, like, a heap of, like, broken rocks at this point that are still being barely held together.
Great. 7. Initiative.
You will beat it again.
Okay, I back off again. I know it's catching me, but I'm drawing it away from its cave.
Right. You've made it all the way to the entrance, and you hit it with another volley of missiles that breaks it apart, and it crumbles to the ground in piles of rocks and dust.
All right. Good shit. I look around. I'm visible now. All right, well, hey, victorious, I step over its broken rubble and head back into the cave to my lightstone. All
right. You re-enter the cave, and that is when you can hear this stirring sound, as if a much larger creature is rolling over or something.
Yes, okay. So, Valorian. I call out, Valorian the Brass. I am a wizard. I seek your counsel. I have defeated your guardian.
There comes a deep rumble from within the cave itself.
I bring gifts.
What gifts? It growls at you.
Gems? Or perhaps magic? Would you speak with me?
The rumbling kind of gives way to this breeze that starts blowing in your direction, like a soft breeze kind of pushes you your way. Followed by a cloud of like purplish, bluish gas that moves quickly in your direction.
Can I get away from it?
No, you cannot. It is... Well. I need you to make me a saving throw versus... Creatures hit with the gas... Oh yeah, versus breath weapon. Perfect.
Fail.
You fall asleep.
Okay.
You pass out.
Alright. That could have been worse, hey. Could have been like 50 damage.
Mm-hmm. All right. Everything goes dark for you, Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
When you wake up, you find yourself buried up to your neck in a pile of rocks and dirt and sand that has been soaked with water and tamped down. You can see your possessions all of your possessions, except for like your clothes, he left you with your dignity, are scattered about nearby, while your light stone is sitting on top of them, illuminating the area and illuminating the dragon as well. Before you is a large brass dragon, quite large, and it is sitting there curled up at the edge of the light stone radius, so pretty far away from you, gazing at you with just its like head inside the light zone. You're more or less at the very center of the light thing, and you are well trapped in here. You know, like your arms and legs are pinned to your sides, crushed under hundreds of pounds of rocks that are just holding you still.
Can I? There was about an hour left on polymorph. It's probably been more than an hour. Is there any way for me to tell if the spell's run out without trying to cast it?
Ooh, that is an interesting question. I'm sure at some point you would realize whether or not it has run out. You have been asleep for 90 minutes.
Okay, so
it definitely has run out by now.
Okay, yeah. So things I could do is cast only verbal spells, right?
Yes, verbal only spells would work.
Of which I think maybe let me see. Suggestion one. I don't know if casting suggestion on the dragon's a good idea, but it might be our only hope at one point. Let's see. No, that's got materials. So that's no good. What else have we got? Color spray, no. Invis, no. Mirror image, no. Irritation. It's not going to do me any good. I've got nothing here, so I'm going to have to talk my way out of this. So, Valerian, my name is Malachi. I thank you for your...
You've woken me from my slumber.
Indeed.
Early.
I apologize.
This had better be
worm.
important.
I have a great request of you. There are grave times afoot, and I need your assistance. I'm not sure how long have you been asleep, but Eridon, the whole continent is in crisis. Demons leaking through from the other planes.
Really? That
Yes.
sounds like an interesting story. Tell me all about it. Start at the very beginning and spare no details.
Okay. I tell this guy the story of Hardcore Heroes. No, I'll what I do is I tell him the whole story of basically the Shadow Dragon and the disappearing villages and our investigation and Malchus, the clerics, and then Van being taken to the Shadow Plane and me traveling there, and then the demons breaking through the portal and the Eridon being overrun.
And you finish your story, and the dragon immediately nods and says, "Good, now tell it again."
I'm not in a position to bargain, so I tell him again. This time I embellish different details. You know, I sort of tell the same story, but maybe some bits from Van's point of view or Bastion's point of view. I try and mix it up for him.
You finish the second time with some embellishments, and the dragon goes, "Good, now tell it again. I enjoyed that."
I have more stories, my friend.
No.
You like this one?
We'll get to all of them in time.
Very
I haven't
well.
spoken to anyone in many decades. We will be here a long time, you and I. Let's get to know each other.
As long as you can provide me food and water, I'm happy to stay.
The dragon will crawl forward a little bit more and, poke around in your supplies and pull out a water skin between its claws and hold it up to your face and gently squeeze it to water you, and then retreats back just so its head is in the light. And you're here for a long time.
How long?
You're gonna be here. You can't see the sun go up or down, but a long time. We're talking weeks on weeks.
Okay. I thought you were going to say years. So.
Maybe not years, but first things first. Once you realize that you've been here for like 4 or 5 days, and the dragon is like still asking about all these stories and nitpicking little details here and there, and you get the impression that she's like picking up, like you've told the story 5 times and there's maybe some discrepancies, and she starts poking at these discrepancies and like starts to get at little details. Why don't you give me an opposed intelligence check to see if you can trick the dragon.
Trick it into what?
By lies of omission.
Trick into what?
Trick the dragon into like not, because you didn't reveal the details that you were responsible for the demon invasion, right? You were holding things back.
No, I tell the full story, but I blame it on Georg. Like, I say that the dimensionalist that I was with didn't close the portal properly.
Okay. Right, so then she'll be, prying for all bits of information.
Yeah.
I just want to see if she can suss out anything that she might want from you.
Yeah.
She doesn't roll that well.
28.
Yeah.
I'm trying
seems to go well.
discuss in good faith with the dragon. I'm not trying to lie to it where I can avoid it.
Sure, and the issue of blame never really seems to come up. She is more interested in listening than in talking.
So I've got other stories, right? I'll tell the story of the Goblin Village and my father.
She wants
Siren.
them all.
Yeah,
the Siren, what's happening in Drekis right now. If you mention like Caledonia, she perks up and wants to hear everything you've got about that. What are you doing here in Akuban? Like, you don't know how long you're here, but it's
when I mentioned
10, 12 weeks easily.
Where the portal was located, because it was in this ridge of mountains on the Shadow Plane. Does that get interest in the dragon?
It does. That's one of those points that after you tell the story 4 or 5 times, she keeps coming back and like asking for clear descriptions of this place. She hasn't cast a single spell, but she provides you with food and water as if out of nowhere, and just listens and questions. And you stay buried up to your neck in rocks, uncomfortably.
I mean, after the first 4 or 5 days, I'd ask if I could maybe be unburied, and I'm not going to leave.
No. I am sorry you'll have to be sitting in your own filth all this time, but rest assured, you will come out intact and unwounded.
Our peoples do things in different ways, my great friend, but I accept your hospitality in whichever way it's offered.
Good, good.
I'll stay.
See, the last time I had a house guest, and she proceeds to tell you a 6-hour story about the time this guy showed up by accident. And
but it's not Mohamda?
No. It's some random dude was hiking through the mountains and accidentally found her lair, and she just held him captive for a few months while she chatted with him about this, that, and the other thing. And the moral of the story, after you listen to it for fucking ever, is just this person tried to run away, so I had to keep him here. Now I just trap everybody because it's easier to keep them in place. But it took her 6 hours to get to that point.
But this person does eventually get to leave.
Of course.
Great. Marvelous. Well,
did have to bathe for a while. After all, you can't sit in your own shit and piss without having to clean yourself up eventually.
Well, I was going to say something, but if the smell doesn't bother you, then, I can wait. It's fine. Whenever's convenient. I'm not sure where the nearest river here is.
I can create water on your behalf.
You cast spells?
Many. Tell me, does Azurin the Blue still roam the range, or has some whippersnapper put him down?
I assume this is a blue dragon. I consult my memory. Have I heard of a blue dragon? Where is she talking about?
Yeah, there's a blue dragon that's on the southern end of this mountain range.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about, has anyone seen this dragon? Is it still?
Azeron, he sort of raids around, but you've never run into him. You've never been in his region. You've just heard of his presence.
But it's still there, though. I tell the dragon that. I tell Balerion that, Azeron's he's still around. He doesn't show his face too much these days, but...
That's a damn shame. We've been fighting over these mountain ranges for 500 years. I keep hoping someone will kill the beast.
Maybe we could kill it together.
I would be happy to have you slay it on my behalf, but I'm not so foolish as to run into an ancient worm like that with just a pesky human around.
No, you're probably right. Did I tell you the story about the Shadow Dragon? Would you like to hear
Tell me again.
Yes, well, there's a dragon living in the Shadow Mountains, actually. Thought to not exist by the folk of Shirebrook, but I suspected for a long time that there was something in those mountains, and I came face to face with the beast. Pure evil behind its eyes. A terrible, terrible creature.
It sounds like it. I, once upon a time, saw a shadow dragon.
Really?
Yes, they are existing creatures. Back when the world was new. Accidental creations, mishaps.
Is that so? Is that why they're so angry all the time and pissed off.
As you know, you cannot create a plane without associating nearby planes. And we dragons are magnificent creatures. You cannot create us without accidentally creating other things, and shadow dragons are the accidental result of our greater creations. Existed on the shadow plane only. Strange that it has made it to your world, but you are all so very small, and your magics are so very limited.
This shadow dragon, do they have any redeeming qualities, or you seem to describe them as the evil cast-offs of a greater purpose?
I wouldn't say evil, just mishappen mistakes. Like, when you dig a gold mine, and you clear it out, and you throw rubble away down the canyon, that's the shadow dragon. The rubble.
I see. But we'd be better off without it? Or does it have its place in the order of things?
You don't typically allow them in. They stay in the shadow plane, and you stay in the material plane.
I see.
It's
this
no issue. Yeah.
There seems to be the separation between the shadow plane and the prime material plane near Shirebrook in those mountains seems to be weaker. Maybe it's found some way to pass through, or I'm not sure.
How unusual. This might be the first time that has happened, although that's unlikely. Certainly the first time in Arcadia.
Yes. Well, this is why I come to you, though. I've told you of the demons, yes? Let me remind you. And I tell the story of the demons again. And I say, I'm seeking great magics in order to help me seal the gate and defeat the invasion. And my research has led me to reading about an old friend of yours, a wizard named Mohamda.
Oh, lovely chap. Good fun. Well,
I'm told does he live?
No. He died a long time ago.
I know that he had access to powerful magics, and I was hoping to gain access to them in order to help defeat the armies of the demons. And this is why I've sought you out. I thought perhaps you may know where I could find him.
The dragon comes real close and rests its head near the rubble and looks at you for a little while and goes, "Well, I believe we ought to be more acquainted. Mohamda and the others were very concerned that their power never fell into the wrong hands.
I see, I understand.
And how do I know if you're the right hands for this power or not?"
Well, that's why we're getting to know each other, isn't it?
It is. Now tell me, what do you think of dwarves?
Oh, shit. I think quickly. I tried to read its face.
I mean, it's a lizard, right? How do you read its face?
I'll tell you. To be honest, I've not had the best experiences with dwarves. I find them to be belligerent as a people.
I see.
Difficult to get along with. They what they do well, but I'm not sure that they make the best drinking companions, let's say.
Eloquently stated. Yes, they can be bristly, but their loyalty, once earned, will last a lifetime. They are difficult to befriend.
Yeah, well, that's true. Maybe I've just not put in the hours.
Days? Years?
Yeah, I did know a dwarf well once. Well, I traveled with him for a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, he died in an attack in a goblin encampment. I'll tell you about it, and then I tell him the story of the goblin camp again, yeah.
Morin? Was that his name?
Morin, yeah, killed by goblins, unfortunately.
I see. And you chat with Balurian for a
weeks.
long time. Yeah, it ends up being 2 or 3 months that you're in here with him. Eventually, she will let you go. It doesn't seem like you're going to say anything that will annoy her. And you're here chatting with the dragon for weeks to learn about
Mohamda's variant.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get across that I'm genuinely trying to stop this demon invasion because I feel some sense of responsibility because I was there when it was happening, and we failed to stop them at Misty Rapids. And I feel like it's a job left unfinished, but I'm not powerful enough in my current form.
Well, I have good news for you, she says after months. And bad news. The good news is you'll soon be free.
Correct.
The bad news is a few hundred years ago I had a similar encounter with a similar wizard, and I already told them where Mohammed was buried.
God damn it. God damn it.
Yes.
Well, perhaps I can... Do you know the name of this friend of yours?
Oh, it was a human. I'm sure he's long dead by now.
Well, perhaps I need to find him.
Perhaps. His name was Ferris.
How are you spelling that?
F-E-R-I-S-S? Something like that.
Ferris. He was a wizard, you said?
Wizard, a sorcerer, something like that. Snappy fellow.
Yeah. Whereabouts did he live, do you know?
Solemn. Far, far to the east.
That is far away.
Yes.
How does one get there? Can you sail?
A ship would take someone like you. I would fly myself.
Well, yes. I would fly as well, but I'm not sure I can fly just that far.
Right.
Look, maybe there's some clues at Mohammed's grave. I promise to be respectful. Would you share its location? This really is... The fate of an entire kingdom rests on this. Perhaps the entire continent.
The dragon coos to itself for a little while it looks at you and goes, "But there's no treasure left there."
You've checked it?
Certainly. I keep an eye on many. Invisibility works on dragons too, you know.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yes. He was originally buried in the Shadow Wood on Oscar Island.
Originally?
Yes, well, as I said, our friend Varys did investigate. The little whippersnapper filched the body too.
Huh.
I had some trouble getting it back, but now that I have it, it's here, buried deep in my lair, nestled away where no one can bother it, or raise him as an undead, as I fear the most.
This Ferris, a necromancer?
He was a liar. He was
Yes.
not honest with me, but he was close enough to the truth that I trusted him. I did not sense the foul presence of necromancy on his bones.
Do you seek vengeance against this Ferris, or are you...
He's probably dead already. He's a human, after all.
Yeah, well, not if he's a necromancer.
Well, I doubt that. To be honest, I haven't thought about him in 120 years.
Well, maybe I'll go and look into this Ferris chap. Balerion, when the war against the demons is done, and they write the tales of this, they'll say that this was the turning point. You've made your pages. You've made your name in the story.
You are trying to win me over with flattery.
Perhaps, but you already told me what you. I have nothing more to gain from you. I mean my words.
Well then, how else may I assist you? Because I do also agree this is something that needs attending, and while it is not my place to solve this problem directly, if I could point you in the direction of a good deed, I would do so.
Well, if you were to assist me, there's two matters that I need assistance with. The first is just the acquiring of magical power. Now, I know dragons collect artifacts. I wouldn't dare to presume to ask you to give me one, but that is one way that you could help me. Secondly, I'm looking to construct a portal to the Shadow Plane, so I can go there and carry out research onto the source of the invasion. Part of constructing this portal involves using material that is magically grounded to this plane. Something from stone deep within a mountain range would be a good example. But I'd be too small to carry any of this myself to somewhere where I could use it. Maybe this stone could be used to build the portal, and maybe you could help me transport it somewhere.
Dragon nods a few times, scoops up some food and a water skin, and like places it near to your head on like a little ledge that's been established next to your face, so she can put like, you know, a biscuit here, and you can like reach it with your mouth whenever you want it. And tells you that she'll be back in a little bit, and she leaves for like 2 days. And when she comes back, she brings with it another one of those rocky earth elemental golem-y thingies.
Oh, okay.
And says, "You can take this. It is made from bones deep within the earth."
This is mine?
It will. Where do you need it? Traveling with this thing would attract unwanted attention.
Indeed. I would just like to get the rocks to a town, and then I could have them shipped to my home. I intend to follow up on this Fenris individual, so I'll be getting a boat. But if I could get the rocks to a ship.
When you leave, it will follow you. And when you enter town, I will destroy it, and it will turn back into its composite rock forms. And then you can haul it away.
Perfect. That works well for me, Valerian. Do you have any more information on this Ferris guy? Did he have a second name?
No. That was most unusual. Usually great sorcerers have second names, family names, epithets, or honorifics. This one simply called himself Ferris. Frustrating lad. Or red robes.
Red robes. I don't suppose you know whereabouts in Solemn he came from?
Certainly not. He
Red
was
robes.
vague.
It's interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this. I was on the airship, the Wizard's airship. You've seen it, probably. And there was a number of red-robed wizards from Solemn there, actually. It was just a few weeks past. Well, perhaps a few months past now. I wonder what's happening. It's the first time I've ever seen anyone from Solemn here.
He gives a shrug. She gives a shrug. I don't know. But if you are interested in magical staves,
I am.
Mohamda's close friend and associate, Falstaff Harazim, had one. I think his grave is probably still untouched.
Is it not magically protected by the Harazim family?
There is a anti-magic aura put around the tomb. I was there the day he was buried.
Do you know if that anti-magic aura would cancel a spell already in effect?
It would disable it as long as it was in the field.
For example, if I were to polymorph myself, you think that I would...
Immediately retain your human form.
Is there any way to...
possibly be permanently stuck in the form that you were in.
That would be less than ideal.
Depends on the exact interplay and type of magic, I suppose. I would not venture in without having those details certain.
Could you teleport into an anti-magic field?
No. Don't try that.
No.
No,
So how would...
you will probably end up above it or below it, which, as we all know, would be dangerous and
Of
deadly.
course. So how would you suggest I gain access to Falstaff's tomb?
I would walk in through the front door.
And
It's open to the public. It's a regular tomb.
I assume that they don't just let anyone take his magical staff.
That is true. It is guarded.
It's guarded. Okay.
There is always a man on watch. He is the founder of the Harazim family, after all. Their greatest member. It's a damn shame their king these days is who it is. Did you know the Harazim family now rules Akuba?
I did not know.
Yes, they have come to be the monarchs.
Good for them, I suppose. Mohammed Falstaff's legacy.
Maybe. The current king is a bit of a joke.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
Oh, his name is King Harazim, of course.
Ah, I see. He's a joke, is he? No, not a good king?
Not a good king. Not a bad king.
Is he old? Is he old at least? Will he die soon?
Hopefully. Quite old. 80s or 90s.
Ah, well, fingers crossed. I could sort of... Well, no, that would be wrong. I give him a smack, and then stop. Don't suggest that I'd murder the king for him.
Right. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. Very well. Well, I shall look into Falstaff, but do you think me taking his staff for the defense of the realm would be acceptable morally?
Morally. Falstaff was always interested in keeping power in the hands of good people. You seem almost good.
Thank
He
you.
would probably be questioning of you, but he's long dead, and I'm not sure if this is a bad idea or not. It's probably better for all of the world if his demons are stopped, but if you were to then take their place and rule, I wonder, would you be a good king? If you had complete domination and power over all the people of Arcadia, what would your first act as king be?
Seize the means of production and nationalize all industries. No. I don't know. I think if I was king, I would seek to use our taxes to better the education system. Have people be more educated, teach everyone to read and write.
Literacy. Oh, a most noble pursuit.
Yes, I think so. Society is dependent on the intelligence and the education of its peoples. And I think good education can lead to better decision making and less disasters, of a man-made variety at least.
Fascinating. And if this education led to, let's see, if when the people learned to read and they read the histories and they wanted you not to be king, and they were educated enough to organize against you, what would you do then?
Well, a king must respect the will of his subjects to some extent and do what's in their best interest. I suppose it depends on who sought to lead this new form of government and whether they could be trusted. If the right checks and balances were in place, then sure, I
You're
think
a rare specimen to think such.
Thank you, Balerion. I have grand ideas of the future, but
that was not necessarily a compliment.
Well,
just a note of the infrequency of these sorts of thoughts and ideals.
I'll take it as a compliment, but I like to think outside the box. You know, though, I do think that there is too much war these days. Arcadia is not a large continent. Compared to Solemn, I believe it's quite small. I think that a unification of the kingdoms would be in everyone's best interest. And if that could be done peacefully without war, then that would be ideal.
He mutters to himself. Well, I think Falstaff would be hesitant about giving you his equipment, but I also believe that you are probably the best for it. I don't think he has any heirs that cast spells. Last I recall, his great-great-grandson was king, and he only had one living child, who is in self-proclaimed exile? No, where is he? He's a child, he's a toddler. But no aptitude for magic. Oh, wait, no. That was what year is it? How long have I been asleep?
I believe it's 1411?
1411? We've gone back in time?
Wait,
that
what is
can't
it?
be right. Is it 1511?
1511, sorry, yes, my mistake.
My.
The years pass so quickly these days.
Is 30s quite old for a human, right?
I hope not.
He's in his. I think his youngest heir is in his 30s.
Okay,
maybe late
so
20s.
He would be an adult then. He would. He's older than me.
Oh, maybe he can be a spellcaster. He might be a better person to be the recipient of that staff in the end. I believe his name is Fudge Herazim. Or Budge? Boudoir? He had a weird name. Hold on, it'll come to me.
No, take your time.
Boudoir Herazim, I'm sure of it. Yes.
Yes. Well, the thing is with the monarchy is that the son of a king doesn't always make a good king. The son of a wizard doesn't make a good wizard necessarily. I think the best man should be the one for the job, not just due to right of birth. I came from nothing. I'm not a nobleman. Everything I've got, I got for myself.
Well then, let me tell you. You can find his tomb in the great cemetery in the midst of Sandashar. It should be available to the public if all is going according to plan. It should be surrounded by an anti-magic field. And, I saw the body put in the sarcophagus myself, and the gates shut and locked, but they should be open now. I visit from time to time in disguise of a human, standing on the outside, of course, not entering, for the very reasons we discussed.
Yes. How is the entire tomb covered in the anti-magic field?
Yes, the walls are sown with silver and salt and lead, and an anti-magic field placed around it. It cannot be scryed into or magicked in any way.
And is the staff free to grab if one had the audacity to try?
If you were to open the sarcophagus and peer inside, I believe his bell books, his staves, his potions would all be there. Although a word to the wise, the spell books are written in a dead language, with a cipher on top of it, and a spell to hide the text on top of that. Maybe the order is the other way around, I don't know.
Is the tomb itself magically protected? Trapped in any way?
Not magically. It's an anti-magic field.
You're correct. Very well, I will see what I can do.
And at this point, Blurian pokes into your thing and starts pulling rocks away, slowly but carefully.
Oh my god, it feels good.
Yep, you can move your arms, which don't seem all that... for being trapped in that place for so long, you're surprisingly fine. There's no atrophy. There's no issues. You can walk around as if you normally could, right away, instantly.
Good. Great. So some sort of magic protections or something going on. Well, have I slept?
No. Yeah, that's one of those weird things. You've been chatting with this dragon for months, and you don't feel like you've slept at all. Something is afoot.
I say to the dragon, wait, do I feel like I could learn spells?
I suppose, yeah.
Oh, okay. I ask him if I could stay a while I learn my spells.
Larian nods. But gives you the, no funny business. I am 100,000 times your size.
I wouldn't be so stupid as to try anything like that. I'll consult my books for a few hours and then I'll be out of your hair.
According to your story, you came toe-to-toe with a shadow dragon and tried to talk to it. You've been warned by gods not to.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that's what was happening at the time. But yeah, I'm glad that you're more friendly than the Shadow Dragon. I escaped with my life, but barely. The gods were smiling on me that day.
Good. All right. So, what spells do you want to? I guess you're just memorizing your regular stuff, right?
Yeah, I learned the same stuff, and then I'm gonna polymorph and fly back to Yatel.
Good. The dragon will walk with you out the cave, and once it gets to the narrower part, will polymorph herself into a human female with sort of golden-colored hair and long brass-colored robes and a simple walking stick with brass ends on either end of it, little caps on either end of it.
Okay, I will walk back to town with the dragon. That's cool, and our rock elemental.
Yes. Once you guys get outside, she will vanish, and well, I guess you don't know, but she will be above you like a surveillance drone, observing the area.
So is the elemental just following me?
Yep, the elemental just like stumbles after you. You are in this awkward canyon, though, so you're gonna have to like exit out and go around.
Well, can I like turn
you can fly, totally.
Yeah, I could fly, or if I want to stay on foot so the thing can follow me, maybe like a goat or something like that's good at climbing on rocks.
Perfect. You can polymorph yourself into a goat and make it through the ridge. Yeah. Let's see if there are random encounters. The dragon will not help you if there are.
All right, okay. The rock elemental might, though.
Rock elemental might. Give me a perception check here.
Yes. What kind of spiders live in these woods, I wonder, in these hills? What's that, 26?
You will, as you're exiting the cave, you will spot a group of goblins kind of walking, not the cave, the canyon. You'll spot a group of goblins walking perpendicular to you, oblivious to your presence, but they number maybe like 30 or 40.
Oh, that is a lot of goblins. I'll wait. I mean, I don't want to have to fireball them, so I'll just wait for them to pass.
Yeah, you can just bypass them. No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
Keep walking to town.
You've left the cave. It'll take you the rest of the day to get to town, I believe. If you're a mountain goat, actually, it'll take you like 2 days to get to town. But do you have? I guess you have food and water. The dragon would have left you with some.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can fly if I get into really dangerous circumstances, but I'd like to keep the elemental with me.
Sure. 2 days later, you make it back to Yatel. Let's figure out where you actually ended up in time, because you were gone for a long, long time.
I keep getting stolen away by NPCs for months. Yeah. All
right, so you were in Yatel at the end of February, so March, April, May. We're somewhere near the end of May. Let's do May 1D 15 plus 15. May 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was happening?
Okay, hold on. A lot has happened in those intervening months in the world.
Yeah, so I guess I get back to... Does the dragon destroy the elemental for me?
As you get into town, almost. Before we get to that point, as you start walking towards town with the elemental, you will be greeted by cavalry. By about 40 people, not 40, maybe 20 people on horseback that come barreling in your direction.
Have they got their lances drawn?
Their lances are out, and if you have a lance, you cannot have it drawn, right? Like, you can't point it anywhere than forward. But they are coming your direction at a fast pace, and you got to decide, are you... they are maybe 200 yards, but on horseback that is closed in round instantly.
A single round. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's your decision here. Are you going to treat them as hostile and fight them, or are you going to try and parlay with them and risk being overrun by cavalry?
No, I cast polymorph self, but I don't polymorph.
Okay.
And I'll look to hail them and hope that they start to slow down. But I'm probably gonna get, if they are attacking me, then I'll probably have to take a hit before I can.
Sure. When you say you look to hail them, what does that mean?
Like I'd go like, hail.
Okay, so you try and wave them and flag them down?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, they will surround you, but not attack you. You know, the column splits, half of it goes one way, half of it goes the other way, and you find yourself and your rock monster surrounded.
Okay. Yes.
Of these 20 lancers, it looks like 10 of them are, of the 20 cavalry, it looks like 10 of them are lancers, few of them are archers, and there's a cleric and a wizard with them as well.
Oh, okay, shit. All right.
Yeah.
Is this town, Yetel, is this part of Akuba?
It is.
Yeah, okay.
It is.
I mean, I wait for them to say something to me.
Sure. The wizard steps forward, and he looks at you and looks at the golem, or at the elemental, and asks, "Who are you, stranger?"
My name is Malachi. I was visiting your town a few months past.
And you bring with you an elemental?
I just for transportation. It's soon to be turned back into rocks. I have great use of the stone.
Is this a Shazarin trick?
No. It's just I couldn't carry all that stone myself. It makes more sense to have it follow me, and then I can, once I get back to town, turn it back into the stones.
Did you get these stones from the Spark Steels or the Stone Songs?
I'm afraid, friend, that I'm new to this part of the world. I only visited Sandashar for a couple of days before heading to Yatel, and even then I was only there for a day. I look around. I've been visiting with a friend in the Draken Ridge, and he has provided this for me. She.
Ooh. Wizard makes an intelligence check. Passes and narrows his eyes, dismounts from his horse, and slowly approaches your golem elemental thingy, sniffing at it, looking very carefully. Yeah, looking very carefully at the rocks, and asks you, "How many legs did your friend have? How many appendages did your friend have?"
I look towards the knights, and I walk a bit closer to the wizard and lower my tone and say, "I'd be happy to discuss with you, my friend, but I don't want to betray my friend's confidence in front of all these people."
The wizard nods a few times, goes back to the horse and makes like a gesture to everyone else. And they put their lances, points to the ground, and says, "You are welcome in Yatel. Your creature is not. Be careful. During these times of war, one can never be too friendly."
There's a war? No, there wasn't the last time I was here.
There is.
Have
you not heard?
No. What happened?
The king is dead.
Really? That's well, long live the king, I suppose.
There is no king. The country has divided into many factions, and they are all fighting each other.
The king's son not up to the task of uniting the country?
The king's son is missing, but also a bit of a drunken, Drakissian-loving lout.
Oh, really? He doesn't sound fit for purpose. Who do you support?
We are biding our time.
Wise.
Yatel is far enough away from the issues of state, of the central state, that we can see how this unfolds. But it's been 3 factions broken into.
All right. Well, I hope things work out for you here in Yatel. I was planning to head into town. My friend here will be rocks within the hour. I was hoping to have a trader from town help me carry the rocks. And then maybe tonight we could, if you wish to talk, we could meet for dinner or drinks.
Trader? I'm sure you could get a cart that will take you all the way to... Where are you going?
The stones I'll be sending back to Drakis. I myself will be staying in Akuba. I only moved to Drakis recently. I'm Eridonian. I was forced to leave because of the demons.
Oh, I see.
Nuts.
Poor bastard.
Yes,
home destroyed, having to move to Drakis. Ugh, worst of both worlds.
That's why I thought I'd come and visit Akuba, see if it's worth moving home.
Yes. You know what they say about Drakis? Got the The strength of a whale, but also the brains of a whale. Sometimes we just call Drekis whales. That's how terrible of a place it is.
Yeah, I heard that if a soldier tried to invade Akuba, they'd end up in Matava by mistake.
It's true. No sense of direction. Silly
Those
people.
fools. Yes. Well, yeah, I am.
Have you heard the one about the Drekisian soldier who had to use a latrine?
No, I've not, no.
He gets a banana leaf, wipes his butt, and then smears it on his face because he can't find his butt again.
These fools.
Yeah, such fools. Everyone has a good chuckle, and the horses ride back, and I think you and the wizard probably chat a little bit. He does sort of, he asks you, where in the Drakenridge were you exactly?
I'm sorry, my friend. I wouldn't like to say. I found it. No one told me where to find it. I had to search for a long time.
Okay.
But I will. What I want to do is get these stones and have them shipped back to Bontheris. Is that something I can do?
I'm sorry. One of the families has created a naval blockade around Yatel. No ships can come or go.
Nightmare. Do you think I could store them here? Is there a place that I could rent?
Certainly. With the shipping blocked, warehouse space is cheap.
Fantastic, yes. I shall do that then. I can leave them here. I plan to do some more sightseeing around Akuba, and I'll come back for them at a later date. Do you care to eat with me tonight?
I would love to dine with you.
Marvelous. Well, you're the local. I'll let you recommend somewhere. I'm going to go and head to an inn and freshen up, but I'll let me know where, and I'll come and meet you.
He will meet you in one of the palaces in Yatel.
Nice.
The former king's palace that has been sort of taken by the council that's been established here.
But did this used to be its own kingdom?
No, there's just a palace here for leisure.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. And you will find that Yatel is organized or under the rule of 3 families that are all sort of working together. There is the Abudad family, who's sort of the equestrian, head of equestrian issues in the area. The Baladin family, which is in charge of overseeing issues of the faith. And the Questari family, which is a collection of half-elves that all come together to form their own house. Half-elves are sterile. They cannot breed, so they're just always populated by new half-elves that get brought in. They're sort of like an adoptive family. And these 3 families together have been cautiously, carefully ruling Yatel.
Very nice. This wizard, does he at any point show interest in... Like, does he seem a strong wizard? Like, would I be interested in getting some spells off him, or does he seem like a bit of a scrubblord?
He does mention that Fireball, is a great spell, and he loves it. But,
okay.
That's one of those things that every wizard loves Fireball. And is he really a 5th level wizard who's capable of casting it, or is he like a pretender who's trying to,
Yeah, even 5th level, it's not. It's no big deal, is it really, 5th level?
Yeah, he's at least claiming to be 5th level or above.
Okay, I don't offer to share any spells with him, but I'll drink with him and discuss things. I don't want to ask too many questions about the staff in case it does go missing.
Well, why don't we take a break here, and when we come back, we can sort out any of these issues and move from there.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Excellent. See you guys on the other side of a break. Bye-bye.
Yep.